Why did you decide to open the channel?
Hello everyone, my name is Mariam from Italy and Mexico.
Apologies for my accent. I do not speak English as I should because I almost never practice it, so excuse me if I am wrong. Thank you very much. I decided to open the channel Space Academy in Italian because at this moment, humanity more than ever needs to know what is really happening around us, and many times because of culture, religion, and family, we are afraid of not being within the imposed canons. Even if many people know it, they do not have the courage to say, that they do not agree with how things are going. Rather, they close themselves and call you a conspiracy theorist. So this channel offers the opportunity to slowly go to discover how things really are, who really governs us, and all the rest.
When I became familiar with the information from the taygètiens, I quickly realized how pure and essential this knowledge was. I wanted this information to become widely available in Poland. I waited for a few months for someone to take care of it, but no one did. However, I kept feeling deep inside that this was my task, mine. It was calling me.
Why did you decide that this contact was real?
More than decided, I feel this contact is very real because it changes your life. When I started everything, for me, it was a constant wow. That feeling of, I knew, but no one listened to me. So, feeling my heart explode with joy in every topic that came out was, for me, an infinite source of certainty. Because even if there are things that are revealed, you realize that they are true because you feel them inside. I felt at home.
I came to the conclusion that taygètiens were real because I applied their knowledge to my life and noticed many positive changes. Also, a lot of this amazing information I was hearing for the first time, but it seems strangely familiar. It was as if it was stored in my memory of my soul, the memory from the stars. Before I even knew about taygètiens, I had made a YouTube video about time. But what's interesting is that what Swaru said about time was exactly the same thing I claimed earlier. I even used the same comparisons.
Why did you decide to open the channel? Why did you decide that this contact was real?
Hello, my name is Eloise Alciona. I am French. I have been sharing this taygètien knowledge since 2020. I translate from Spanish. I discovered the taygètien information through Gosia's YouTube channel, which I found by chance. We know that there are no coincidences. In March 2020, I don't know if you remember, it was the global bug crisis. And in March, it was the first lockdown. So I was stuck at home, like most people. And I found Gosia's YouTube channel, and then Robert's. I started watching their videos. It was love at first sight for me. I mean, it was obvious, clear as day. It was incredible. I thought everything was great, super liberating. And I finally found answers to many questions I had been asking myself that were on my mind. I had a lot of pieces of the puzzle, but they were scattered. And suddenly, with these videos, this knowledge, these pieces started to fit together. And it was something incredible for me. There is clearly a before and after this discovery of this knowledge. So I never doubted. I personally never went through this process, these stages. Oh, little by little I am starting to believe in them. No, for me it has always been obvious. So a few months later, in July 2020, I decided to start translating this knowledge, these videos, into French. I decided that this information is too valuable for the French-speaking public not to have access to it. Those who don't speak English or Spanish well enough need to be able to access this information.
How did people in your country welcome this information?
Well, not easy. Not easy. Starting with my ex-partner, who told me I was out of my mind, that sooner or later I would realize that it was all a joke. And then I started doing translations, Spanish-Italian, English-Italian, and it wasn't easy. It still isn't. There is a lot of resistance because we are close to the Vatican. Religion is so strong in Italy, even in Mexico it is, but here it is even more. But, you know, I am like a drop that falls until it makes a furrow.
I think that people in Poland react to the taygètiens similarly to those in English-speaking countries. We lack optimism and openness, which is easier to find in Spain, I think. The taygètiens topic has existed in Poland for almost 3 years and continues to grow. We had a few attacks, but nothing major. Sometimes people don't believe in the taygètiens simply because they don't know them. People judge quickly and without understanding the subject. They react to their own perception of the topic rather than to the topic itself.
Well, in general, it seems to me that the French public... Well, I'm going to talk mainly about France now, which is my country. But in France, it's true that people often have a very cerebral mindset. They're not as connected to their hearts, their intuition, their emotions, as people in South America, for example. And I see the difference between the Spanish-speaking world and the French-speaking world. The French are very distrustful, sometimes even almost paranoid. Well, also because there are many open-minded people who are interested in this taygètien knowledge and who are classified as paranoid. But they simply know that we are being lied to everywhere, that there is misinformation everywhere. So, of course, they also doubt this taygètien contact. And it's normal and even healthy for them to doubt. But sometimes I get the impression that the French are wasting their time doubting, looking for proof here and there. Proof that shows that they are false. I get the impression that they are wasting their time, and instead of opening up or deciding once and for all whether they believe this information or not, they remain like with one foot on one side, yes I do believe, and one foot on the other side, no I don't believe. And they remain as always ambiguous without making a real decision. And it seems to me that this way they always remain a little distant, seeing all this a little like a movie, like something not quite real. And so they don't open themselves up completely to this information. They don't integrate it and they don't do the work of processing it, integrating it, and expanding their consciousness. I think this is a shame, but oh well. The spread of taygètien teachings in the French world is not very widespread, partly because of this rather distrustful and very intellectual side, which overthinks things and analyzes them too much. But there are many people who, like me, discover this information and fall in love with it, see the truth in it, and feel liberated inside, and they love it. And well, there's a bit of everything. But let's say that what I see most is also what bothers me the most, because for me it's complicated, because I often feel like I'm swimming against the tide, because I make a lot of effort, I work hard, and sometimes I feel like there are few results because there is also a lot of censorship, a lot of criticism, a lot of attacks, because the cabal censors all of this, so it's very difficult to see the positive results.
What are the biggest problems in reaching the public in your country?
The biggest problems are self-worries. What will they think of me? How do I explain this to my family? How will my colleagues see me at work? It's not easy because Italians care a lot about appearances. But for me, it was easier because the same thing happens in Mexico. So I was a bit trained. But the mental closure is very hard. So you have to enter very slowly, conform to the person. They start to open up to ask questions. And above all, be very clear without strange twists.
Another problem I observe in Poland is that many people cling to old patterns they have, absurd, and don't want to change their beliefs. If something doesn't fit their worldview, they reject it. We also have far too many people who believe in a flat earth. In Poland, people's awareness of metaphysical topics is quite good, but in extraterrestrial subjects it is weaker. However, this is slowly evolving.
Well, I would say the New Age. All the damage that the New Age does with limiting beliefs, the stereotypes that people then have about extraterrestrials, who they see as gods, as superior beings, semi-ethereal, who don't even go to the bathroom, who don't even eat, and who see all of 5D as a paradise, that there isn't even duality up there, that there is duality only on Earth, that up there everything is perfect. Well, so the New Age does a lot of damage, because people then have these prejudices, these limiting beliefs, all these totally distorted ideas, they have them in their minds, and when they arrive and discover taygètien knowledge, they are amazed, and many enter into total cognitive dissonance, their minds collapse, and many leave. They don't even get to be interested in these videos, because it seems too contradictory to them, almost contrary to what the New Age tells them. In the French-speaking world, there are many people who are very, very hooked on the New Age, almost addicted, because in the end it's like an addiction. All this information about light, love, and always positive. There are people for whom it's almost their daily drug, and so they don't want to let go of it. And then there are the infiltrators, which goes hand in hand with the New Age, all these infiltrators who proclaim themselves ambassadors of the Galactic Federation of Light and Love, who are spreading propaganda for the Galactic Federation and sowing misinformation. Well, in the French world, these people, and one in particular, have many fans, many followers, and also, as she criticizes directly the taygètiens, well then her fans, all her followers, believe her. These infiltrators also cause a lot of damage in the French world and against the taygètiens, because of course, when they write it in their books, that taygètiens are false, they say it in public, in videos, for many years, so of course, in the end, I see how this causes a lot of damage to the French world. But well, I fight, I am in front fighting like a Irma starseed, very determined.
What are the main arguments against this information, and how do you respond, if you respond?
The extraterrestrial topics, there is a sore point there because unfortunately, the New Age has done too much damage, giving wrong information, saying that ETs are entities of gas and light, and that everything up there in space is love and peace. And when you break the crystal ball, what for them is the truth, they get angry and call you crazy or ignorant. So one must enter, as I already said, tiptoeing, slowly, so as not to scare people. But above, all clarify their doubts.
The objections to the taygètien topic that I encounter can be divided into two categories. The first category: objections due to a lack of knowledge about the content. Sometimes someone claims to have discovered a contradiction, but if they had more information, they would know that there is no contradiction at all. People sometimes comment on their perception of the taygètiens rather than what they actually are. The second category of objections comes from people claiming to have vision or channelings. They say the taygètiens are negative or AI. This is a typical attack attempt without an argument. Just some person on the internet claiming to have had a vision. Nothing more, nothing special.
The main arguments against this information, well, I would say that most people say that they are too human-looking, to be extraterrestrials. This is typical. They say that it can't be that their photos are real, that they are so similar to us, because once again the New Age has put it into their heads that extraterrestrials are very different from us. That yes, they look similar, well, yes, but they will have very large almond-shaped eyes, or I don't know, pointed ears, or that they are not as dense as us. Well, although they accept that they are like us, because little by little they are accepting it, I see that there is a lot of mental resistance, and that they continue to think, yes, but even though they look a lot like us, they are surely not like us, and I tell them yes, they are like us. I mean, people are idealizing, and then they kind of detach themselves completely from reality. In the end they are no longer in reality. They are in dreams, in fiction, but it is not reality. So I bring them back to reality, to the concrete, to the fact that it's simple, they're just our cousins, that's it. I mean, no more mysteries. And also the fact that they communicate via the internet and chat, this is the worst part. For them it's like, no, they only communicate through channeling. They can't go on the human internet, go to a chat room. I mean, for them it's almost like something, I don't know, rude. For an extraterrestrial who is too elevated, right? To descend to these levels of the sellers of humanity, the internet, chat rooms, no, this is not worthy of a positive 5D extraterrestrial. And these prejudices, they also have a lot of mental resistance to this. And so I explain to them that channeling, there are many limitations with channeling. I explain why, that we filter with the ego, with limiting beliefs, that there are also parasitic entities, and that precise, detailed, technological, complicated, complex knowledge cannot be communicated, right? Through channeling it is impossible, so of course the easiest way is through the internet, if they can, because it is logical to do it that way. But little by little, the mindset is changing, little by little, although there is a lot of resistance. And also because the main argument against this information is the fact that 5D, well, let's say, if we call it that, if we put labels on it, I say that it is simply the world of incarnation, that we have to stop saying 3D and 5D. Is a world of duality, a world where not everything is perfect, where there are dark sides, where there is light and shadow, because it is duality. It is simply the world of incarnation, and therefore it is not an ideal world. And again, it is not as the New Age says, that it is not a paradise, and that, well, it is normal that up there are also problems, conflicts, and this also causes people to enter into cognitive dissonance.
Has your life changed since you started the channel?
In fact, my life has changed since I started following disclosure in 2018, one step at a time. That's why I asked to be a spokesperson for Italy by Opening Space Academy channel. I am of Mexican origin. That's why I have a Spanish accent, but I have lived in Italy for almost 20 years. And I am in all respects Italian-Mexican. I love Italy immensely, and therefore it is very important for me to let people know that just as my life has improved and changed, it can also improve the life of anyone who comes into contact with this information.
My life has changed significantly, and for the better on every level, both internally and externally. From the very beginning, I strongly felt all this information. Deep inside, I knew it was true. It was a kind of synchronization. When the taygètien topic entered my life, all my problems disappeared. Everything got resolved. I took it as the universe telling me I was on the right path. I also give many lectures all over Poland, and I'm invited to festivals. People often come to me thanking me for what I do. It shows me how deeply my actions affect others. It shows the importance of the individual.
Has my life changed since I started these translations? Well, yes, a lot. As I said, my consciousness has expanded a lot. I have freed myself a lot internally. Well, now I know. I have totally integrated that I am the original source itself, so this changes everything, doesn't it? I have much more confidence in myself, in life, in the future of humanity. I also reconnected with many things from my Irma self. I know that I am in an immersion pod as Irma Lioness at the moment. So all of this means that I don't have as many fears as before. It's like I've freed myself from many fears, many anxieties, many mental limitations. It's incredible. This disclosure has changed my life in a very big and profound way. And also, of course, dedicating myself 100% to this requires a lot of self-sacrifice, a lot of sacrifice. As I say sometimes, I've put my life on hold a little. I've completely stopped working as a psychotherapist to devote myself 100% to this dissemination, to these translations, which are a lot of work, a lot of time, a lot of energy. So now I only do this, with few days off, almost none. So it's hard, I admit it's hard. But I have the flame, the fire of passion inside me. Because I know it's a mission, a super positive mission that's going to have results. And that's already having results, even though you can't see it much yet, it's quite invisible. But it's already having very positive results and repercussions, even on all of humanity. I believe that this information influences even people who are not aware of it because it travels through the collective unconscious. So well, when I'm a little frustrated, desperate, because it's not always easy, then I think about things like this, that this information is now just sowing seeds. There are little plants growing here and there, but little by little they will become trees, and then giant trees that can never be removed. These trees will have very strong roots, and I believe that this will contribute greatly to the internal liberation of humanity, because, of course, it is a liberation that is first and foremost internal.
Which topic is the easiest for people in your country to accept, and which is the most difficult?
For Italians, I think the most difficult topic is to accept that they have always been deceived about religion. That is a hard blow. Then science, technology, and the most important topic is stellar life. As I was saying earlier, knowing that the life of ETs is exactly like ours is something that is difficult for them to accept. Instead, something that they accept a little more easily is knowing that there are Pleiadians helping us because they are very well known. But in any case, when they find out that they do the same things that we humans do, they are shocked. They are still waiting for a super starship to come down and save them from all the evil here on Earth. My dear Gosia, thank you for this wonderful opportunity. Thank you very much.
Poles are particularly interested in topics related to cosmic politics, federation, description of extraterrestrial race, and cabal or history. The least interest is in technological and scientific subjects. So that's all. Bye everyone.
The most difficult issue for the French to accept would be that of the Galactic Federation, that it is not all pure love and light, that they do not want to liberate us, that this is a lie, that they lie to us, that there are regressives in the Galactic Federation, that they control the Earth, they even control the Cabal, that the Cabal is the puppet of the Federation. All of this, I think, is the most difficult topic for the French-speaking public. It is the most difficult to swallow, to accept. And the easiest topic to accept, let's say, one of the easiest to accept, I had to choose one, but there are several. But one that the French really like, those who are already interested in everything, all these things, is the topic of starseeds. They are often interested in this topic, they even ask themselves if they are starseeds. So when they find information about this, in the taygètien information, it also interests them, and they see it as a positive topic. And well, it's something we could say that the New Age, but well, it wasn't just the New Age, it was also Dolores Cannon, did well here. Thank you very much, thank you for listening, and I send you all a big hug. Let's keep moving forward.